welcome to game number 3 for the Anaheim trip. This will be the last road trip for 2025. Gorman in orange taking on Central Cathedral Jets in white. As a heads up, we have some bonus hockey coming up on the 23rd. Be the Bishop Gorman alumni game between your D1 Gales and prior varsity players. That game will be live here and played at the Las Vegas Ice Center. You'll catch that in person if you're in town. Hosting some returning players from the last few seasons. All right, getting ready to kick off the first period. And starting lineup. Looks like we'll have Larison, Bosner, Davis, Tritton, and Westwood. And in the crease, Laskoska. Like the Jets bench taking a little extra time in their pep talk. All right, getting ready to kick it off. Davis on the face-off for Gorman. As we start the game, Jets win that one back to the blue line. Chip it across. Pass comes out the other way. No icing. Larison sends around the boards to Tritton. Tritton trying to feed it to Davis. Gets denied. Larison sends around the boards to Westwood. Westwood chips it off a shin. Back from behind his net. Chips it off the boards to Davis. Davis takes a hit. Along the boards, Westwood battling in the far corner. He's got Davis out front, looking to drop it back to Trent. Davis comes in, gives a hit. Tritton comes in. Sorry, Fitzy comes in. And the puck is cleared, and that will be an icing. Jennings, Johnson, Fitzy, Luong, and Trent. Puck comes out. Johnson feeds it to Trent, sends it back down at the blue line. Along the near wall, denied. Just chip it up high. Jennings gives a hit back behind the goal line. And the buzzer went off. Not sure what's happening here. Buzzer went off overhead. Clock stopped. Scorekeeper confused. And we'll try this again as they reset the scoreboard. Should be 15:57. Looks like we're going to round up. Call it an even 16. Jennings in for the puck drop. D-zone face-off for the Jets. Gorman wins that one. Back to Luong. Luong shot off a shin and into the crowd. Luong with a goal in the first game of the weekend. Kicked it off for Gorman. Baldy and Rubino back at the blue line. For Jets D-zone face-off. Goes back in favor of the Jets. Johnson's on all over him. Puck comes out. Chipped over by Baldy. Still in possession by the Jets. Send it around the boards. Baldy chips it off. At the feet of Fitzy. Battling for position, shot, and glove save. And looks like they're going to bring Jennings to the penalty box. 2 minutes, and Gorman's going to go on the PK. That comes out in favor of the Jets. Pass along the blue line, behind the slot to the far wall. Back to the blue line, far wall. Shot off a body, goes up and over the net. Puck sent out into the opposite corner. Jets feed that back out to the blue line. A little too hot to handle. Kerr almost picks that one off. Kerr and Creel, your forward crew. Posner and Larison and Trent at the blue line. That's cleared as Creel heads into the bench. Godino takes over, working up high with Fish. Luong at the blue line. Trent. Just bring it in the zone. Feed it through the front. Shot goes wide. Shot off the pads. Kept in play. Godino gets tripped up. No call. Stretch pass out through the neutral zone. Godino with an opportunity denied as he got hooked off the blocker. Cleared by Gorman. Jets going to regroup with 30 seconds left on their power play. Fitzy up high. Godino stays on. Rubino and Baldy at the blue line. Pass at the blue line. Couldn't connect. Godino's going to try again. Lobs it on net, or just left of it. 14 seconds left. Kerr in for Gorman, gives it a huge hit, and they're going to call another penalty. Roughing is the call. And with 1 second left, they're going to bring in, they're going to throw Kerr in the box for roughing. And we'll have a very brief 5-on-3 before Jennings takes the ice. Gorman bench very frustrated right now with the officiating. That comes out. Far side shot, whiffed on it. Gorman with 4 on the ice now. Jennings comes in, poke checks that out into the corner, cycled around. Rubino forces it out the other side, back up high. Back down low, Jennings clears. Fish goes in. And Jets needing to regroup. .125 remaining. As it's covered in the crease by Laskoska. Creel, Godino, Larison, and Posner. Jets win that one, bring it around. Send it back up high to the blue line. Cross ice pass. Dropped back. Near point. Down low. Shot short side off the shoulder. Goes wide. Posner chips it off the glass. 2-on-1 the other way. Creel and Godino. Creel feeds it up. Godino chips it just right of the net. Creel recovers in the corner. And looking to pin it there. It came out. And the Jets bring it back through the neutral zone. Make Gorman's territory. Cycles back. Off the shin of Godino, clears. Back up to Creel. Creel shovels it out off the helmet of the Jets player. As Fitzy and Fish come in. Trent and Luong. Stretch pass. Chipped in. Brushed aside by Laskoska. Trent decides to send it airborne with 18 seconds left on the PK. Pass broken up, almost picked off by Fish. And the Jets will regroup back in the far corner. And Gorman's back to full strength. Kerr comes in for Gorman. Trent trying to chip it up to him, couldn't get there. Luong is going to bring it up himself. Jets pick it up along the near wall, kept in by Kerr. Mesa comes in to support. Fish chips it down low. Kerr comes in, brings it around, cycled back down to Fish. Fish looking for a pass. Luong covered at the point. Back to Luong. Shot. Loose out front, deflected. Kerr got a stick in there. The goalie was able to brush that one aside. Fed back out to the blue line. Trent walks it up. Out to Fish. Takes a hit. Feeds it through the crease. Mesa back behind the goal line. Reverses back the other way. He's got Kerr at the dot. Sent around the boards. Luong says no. And the Jets lob it bouncing to the neutral zone. Trent's there for Gorman. Shot off the blocker, goes wide. Chipped across to Johnson. Johnson just out of reach of Trent. Trent recovers, poke checks it down deep. He's got Johnson with him. Baldy and Jennings currently hovering at the blue line. Slow puck, works his way to the crease, sent wide. Mesa closed off, couldn't get to the puck in time. Able to recover in the corner. Cycle back down to Johnson. Johnson feeds Trent in the slot and couldn't connect. And that is going to get lobbed airborne. Reverse back the other way. Jennings. Feeds it out to Rubino, and he hops on the bench. Westwood forces a pass out to the neutral zone. Rubino and Baldy regroup. My apologies. Davis picks that up, feeds it out to Westwood on the near side. Westwood makes the zone, dodges a hit. Shot banking through. Davis couldn't get a shot off, got tied up. Tritton and Davis both battling in the slot, and that will be an icing. And it's going to come on back for Jets D-zone face-off. Westwood, Tritton, Davis, Posner, and Larison. .8:51 remaining in the first. Davison for the face-off. Kicks it back to Posner at the blue line. Tritton near wall, feeds it across, picked off. Larison forces him out. Sent out into the near corner. Tritton comes in, chips it across out to Davis. Davis feeds Larison on the far side. Larison's going to lob it down. Jets make the zone. Davis picks that one off, chips it across. Trying to hit Tritton in motion. Luong sends it across, tipped. Gorman's going to go for a change. Westwood still on for Gorman. Fish and Godino on the back check. Forced pass down around the boards. Trent gets there for Gorman, pins him to the boards. Fish into support, comes out to Bonifazio, chips it off a stick, and 2-on-2 the other way. Trent and Godino. Trent high in the slot, feeds out to Godino. Godino trying to tip that in. Bonifazio keeps the zone and feeds it around. Jets along the near side. Cycle back the other way, turned over to Godino. Cycle back to Luong. Walked it up, shot off a leg. Godino in the corner. Gorman has a penalty in their favor coming up. Skoska makes his way to the bench. As Creel hops on, Gorman will slow this one down on a delayed penalty. Fish heads off, pass comes out to Godino. Back to Trent. Trent, shot, and a glove save. 6:57 remaining, and Gorman's going to go on the power play. Looks like number 74, high stick is the call, or slashing, sorry. Baldy. Fitzy. Johnson, Westwood, and Kerr. Baldy high in the slot. Feeds it across. Couldn't make the connection there and had to fend off an attacker. Westwood brings in the zone. Off the skate of Johnson, and he's going to get wired back on net. Fitzy drops it back to Baldy. Baldy through, stretch it out to Johnson. Johnson chips it off the back of the net. Kerr, Westwood, shot by Johnson. Goal! Godino finishes it off. Sorry, Fitzy. Godino had hopped off. Fitzy puts it in the back of the net. And Gorman has the lead. Gorman leading by 1 with 6:12 remaining in the first. Goal from Fitzy. Johnson and Kerr are on the assist. Jets bring it back the other way. Shot. Goal. And Cathedral ties it. And just like that, we are back to a tie game. Godino battles back behind the net, feeds it up front to Bonifazio. Couldn't connect before it was cleared. Baldy wires it back around. Clearing attempt off a skate. Godino picks that one up, walks it up, poke checked off a stick. And puck cleared the other way, not enough for an icing. Baldy's got a man on him. Reverses the other way, comes out loose. Bonifazio leaves it for Godino. Rubino on the forecheck, 3-on-2. Feeds it out to Bonifazio, shot off the body and up into the netting. .5:10 remaining in the first. Tie game 1-1. Davis in for the face-off. Wins it out to Tritton. Luong, one-timer just over the net. Bounces down, loose. Out to Davis, reloads to Luong, and it bounced over the stick, and Gorman will regroup in the neutral zone. Puck comes out to Tritton. Center ice, wires it in, hits a body. Davis on the forecheck. Poked back out by Westwood. Battling back behind the net. Tritton goes in to support. Davis is going to head to the box. All right. Looks like Davis in for 2, might be 2 and a 10. They said head contact, not sure, as the player was tossed on top of the boards, head in his own bench. And Davis will take a rest for about 10 minutes. And Gorman goes on the PK. Pass out to the near side. High in the slot. Out wide. Shot off the blocker. Shot goes wide. Jets reload back at the blue line. Near point. Shot off the shin of Rubino. Creel gets possession and wires it down. Rubino's going to head for a change. Comes out to Godino. Shot. And a glove save. Fish, Kerr, Posner, and Larison. Misconnection, and Fish goes on the forecheck. As the Jets try to recover back behind their goal line, Posner and Larison at the blue line, and we don't know what we're doing here. The whistle wasn't blown. So interference on the Jets. I did not hear a whistle. We'll have to reset the clock here. Number 48 will head to the box for the Jets, and we'll play resetting everything. See, 49. And we're just going to roll from there. 4-on-4. Fish, Godino, Larison, and Posner. Chip back through, trying to hit Larison. Scooped up by the Jets. Pass off a skate. Jets will have to recover in their zone. Misconnection there as well. Godino goes on the forecheck to take advantage of it. Comes out to Fish. Fish back to Godino. Pass a little high. Couldn't connect. And Jets wired around the other direction. Mesa serving the penalty for Colin Davis on the head contact. Jets make the zone. Poke checked off. Mesa in. Gorman has a power play. Johnson comes in as the extra attacker. Shot. Trent with the shot. Goes just over the post or the crossbar into the netting. Stoppage of play. And we have another penalty coming up. It's going to be one of those. Number 67 to head into the box. We have, let's see, 2:23. One minute and 2 minute respectively on the penalties. 2:22 remaining in the first. Gorman with a 2-man advantage. Trent, Godino, Fish, Johnson, and Westwood. Trent through the neutral zone. Shot. Loose out front. Jets cleared out to the near wall. Gorman keeps it in play. Westwood in the near corner. Back out to the blue line. Down low, far side. Back to Dino, top of the dot. Trent shot off the pads. Back out to Trent, high in the slot. Godino. Back down low. Through the crease. And Johnson couldn't capitalize on that one. Westwood looking for space. 5-on-4. Trent shot looking for the left post. And that goes off the blocker and up into the netting. Kerr, Fitzy, Jennings, Westwood, and Baldy. Kerr in for the face-off. Jets battling for position on that one. Sent around the boards to the far side. Westwood comes in, brings it back around. Chips it out to Kerr. Back to the blue line, Baldy. Westwood, shot. Off the body, goes wide. Comes out to Fitzy. Fitzy walks it up. With the goal earlier for Gorman. Westwood drops back to Fitzy. Back up to Baldy. Fitzy on the near side. Shot off the player's leg. Still in play. Baldy high in the slot to Westwood. Shot. Goal. And Gorman takes the lead for the second time in the period. Westwood puts Gorman up by 1. Kerr, Creel, Mesa, Larison, and Rubino. Jets win that one. Back to their blue line. Cross-ice pass, a little too much on it. No icing. Rubino along the near wall, trying to clear with support from Creel. Creel chips it across. Larison, Kerr chips it down to the hash mark. Jets will pick that one up. Tipped in by the Jets. And Larison's going to go retrieve that in the corner. And the clock runs out. No buzzer. And we'll head into our first intermission. waiting for scorekeeper. Period still shows 1 on the scoreboard here. When we have a puck drop, it'll be done on the Gorman side by Fish. Bonifazio and Godino on the wings. Rubino and Baldy at the blue line. Jets win that one out. Fish keeps him pressed. Baldy recovers that, sends it out. Godino chips it out to Fish through the neutral zone. Chips back around, sends it back down low. Bonifazio, Godino looks for some space at the faceoff dot. Shot, loops out front. Brushed aside by the goaltender. And Jets bring it back the other way. Poke check by Baldy. And they will send that down low in Gorman's territory. Baldy with a stick lift. Godino out to Bonifazio, chips it to Baldy. Baldy and Fish. Shot. Glove save. Jennings, Westwood, Tritton, Trent, and Luong. Puck comes out through the crease off the face-off, poked away by the goaltender. Cross-ice pass, no one there. Luong on the back check. Gets a stick in there. Shot off the shoulder. And Jennings chips it back to Trent. Pass out to Tritton. Couldn't connect. Loose at the feet, and the Jets make it in Gorman zone. Trent on the far corner brings it back behind the net. Trent through the neutral zone. Tipped by Gorman, hits a skate. Jennings shot, goal. Westwood. Sends it to Jennings in the slot. And gives Gorman a 2-goal lead. 15-18 remaining. Creel, Mesa, Kerr, Posner, and Larison. Comes out in favor of Gorman. Larison sends it around the boards. Creel there for Gorman. Forces a pass, picked up at the blue line by Posner. Shot, deflected wide. Mesa was there for the loose puck. Bouncing, couldn't connect with it. Ships it back to the opposite corner. Jets are going to grab that one up and try to bring it through. Creel drops back. Shot through the crease. Mesa gives a hit, open ice. Larison going to regroup back behind the net. Jets clear the zone, picked up by Jennings. Chips it out to Larison. Larison chips it off the foot of Jennings. Larison will regroup back to Creel on the far side. Walks it in, sends it around the boards. Fitzy's there for Gorman along the near corner. Back out to Jennings, couldn't connect. And the Jets will pick that one up. Chip it off the glass, tipped down by Baldy for Larison. And they're gonna call a high stick, waist high. and bring it back into Gorman's D zone. As the Gorman bench is looking for an explanation on how that's high sticking. Shot goes wide from the blue line. Rubino leaves it to Johnson. Johnson wires it in. Deflected wide by the goaltender through the crease. Goaltender brushes that one aside. Jennings comes in. Johnson working in the corner. And the Jets get possession and bring it back the other way. Chip it around. That should be an icing, and it is. Face-off coming up in the Jets D zone. Fish, Godino, Bonifazio, Trent, and Luong. Fish in for the face-off. Jets pick that one up. Bring that along the near side, chipped around the boards. Luong gets there for Gorman, leaves it for Fish. Bouncing puck to Godino, couldn't come away with it cleanly. Chips it out to Trent, goes on the rush with Bonifazio. And they're going to say offsides. Face-off coming up in the neutral zone. Same lineup as before. Bonifazio comes away with that one off the face-off. Chipped across through the crease. No one there for Gorman. Odd bounce off the boards in favor of the Jets. Chip pass picked up by Trent. Intended for a Jet player. Circles around. Passes to himself. Gets sent down low. Fish comes in to support. Back out to Trent near wall. Fish in the corner. Fish bouncing shot. Sent wide by the goaltender Bonifazio working in the corner. Godino comes in to support. And that is on net and covered by Laskoska. Kerr, Creel, Larison, Mesa, and Posner. Gorman wins that faceoff. Larison chips it, couldn't clear. Shot goes wide. Mesa tries to chip it out, gets denied. Kerr comes in to support. Across the line with Creel. Kerr needing support. He's got a man on him. And penalty coming up on the Jets. Number 67 will head to the box. Creel and his dance partner both head to the box. Still 5-on-5. Godino, Fish, Bonifazio, Rubino, and Baldy. Jets Win that one out, bring it on the near side. Baldy closes that one off, chips it up to Godino. Makes the zone. Shot. Sent wide off the pads. Godino comes away with that one. Looking for space, chips it down low, off a skate. Fish comes in to support. Jets pick it up, and we have another whistle. And we'll see how they do this. Who they send in. And it's a Jet player, number 20. And Gorman will go on the power play. Larison, Fitzy, Jennings, Kerr, and Johnson for the power play. And Jets adding their 4th player. Puck chipped around, off the face-off. Johnson there for Gorman. Fitzy makes the zone, brings back behind the net. Back to the blue line, Johnson. Larison, blue line pass, back to Johnson. Shot, and glove save. Puck comes out in favor of Gorman. Johnson feeds it back to the blue line. Larison behind the slot, near wall, Fitzy. Far wall, Johnson. Jennings and Kerr down low. Shot off the skate or the stick of Kerr. It's going to get picked up by Fitzy. Fed back up high. Blue line pass to Larison. Johnson, one-timer, loose. And the Jets chip, glove down by Larison, and felt he went a little too far with that in his hand, so they're going to bring that back out. Godino, Mesa, Fish, Trent, and Westwood. Westwood brings it in the zone. Back up high to Trent. Dangles with way up. Walks it up. Feeds it through the crease. Couldn't connect. Or through the slot, should I say. Comes back up high to Westwood. In the slot. Godino, far side. Trent. Shot. Loose out front. Westwood battles for position. And cleared. Trent will regroup through the neutral zone. Drops back out to Fish. Walks it in. Fish drops to Godino. Out to Trent. Blue line. Fed down low. Chipped across. Loose. Sent back up high. 10 seconds left. Shot goes off a skate. And the Jets clear. And Jets picked that one up. Godino and Westwood working through the neutral zone. Westwood looking for space, got a man on him. Brings it through. He's got Larison in for support. Walks it up, angles it on the short side. Still loose. Chipped off the boards. Jennings sends it back the other way off his leg and denied. Jennings drops it back into Godino. Shot. Traffic out front. Follow-up shot. Denied. And Westwood tackled. And Gorman bench cleared. .804. Left in the second period. Gorman with a 2-goal lead. Jennings, Fitzy, Johnson, Larison, Posner. Puck comes out in favor of Gorman, but the Jets pick it off. Johnson says no. Feeds it back down low. Fitzy forces a pass through. That's up and into the crow's nest above the benches. Face off in the Jets D zone. 7:53 remaining in the second. Jennings in for the face-off, and Gorman maintains possession. Johnson, face-off dot, shot, and a glove save. Gorman wins the faceoff back to the blue line. Posner feeds it back down low. Jennings in the near corner. Sends it back out to Larison. Shot off a skate. Goes into the far corner. Fitzy sends it around to Johnson. Jets going a little slow here. Second. Kept in play. Fired back down low. Pad save. Johnson in the corner, closed off. The Jets going to come away with it. Jennings comes in. Larison closes it off. And took a hit in the process. Shot, short side. No goal as Laskoska was able to fall on it. Players saying hello. Back behind the goal line. Looks like they'll take one from each side. Jennings and his dance partner will head to the box. Believe will stay 5-on-5. Trent, Luong, Mesa, Creel, and Kerr. As a reminder, there will be an ice cut between the second and third period. We'll take a brief break during that time. Kerr wins it into the wall. Sent from the blue line. Dropped back by Jennings to Creel. Jets take advantage of it. And they pick it up, send it across. Pass broken up by Luong. Mesa fishes that one out. Sends it to Kerr. Couldn't connect. Creel makes the zone. Drops back to Kerr. Shot. Off the body. Goes out to the far wall. Trent for Gorman. Shot. And a glove save. 6:16 remaining. Creel's going to head to the box. Let's see what for. They're going to say interference. All right, Gorman goes on the PK. Godino, Fish, Rubino, and Baldy. Puck sent around, couldn't clear. Godino finishes the clear, brings it through the zone. He's got Fish with him, brings it out wide, and he's going to take his sweet time. Drops it back to Baldy. Shot, goal. And Jets bring it to within one. Bonifazio, Fish, Godino, Posner, and Larison. Jets win the faceoff. Puck sent around the boards. Posner's going to get there for Gorman. Stuffed by his skate. Jets wind up shot, tipped. And saved by Laskoska. Pass from Godino to Bonifazio. Bonifazio wires it around the boards. Godino goes on the forecheck back behind the net. Trying to hit Larison, gets picked up en route. Bouncing puck. Saved by Laskoska. Fed through the crease, no one there. Jets walk it back up. 5 minutes remaining in the second. Fish lobs it, bouncing through the middle. Couldn't connect with Godino. And the Jets regroup and bring it through. And it's offsides. And we'll bring up some fresh legs. First shift back for Davis after the 10-minute penalty. Tritton, Davis, Westwood, Trent, and Luong. Davison for the faceoff. Jets come away with it. And that's another offsides. Finally, some 5-on-5 hockey. At the feet, chipped up. And almost hits the coach on the Jets bench. 4:35 remaining in the second. Nice cut coming up. Davison for the faceoff. Jets come away with that one from the feet. Shot, save, Laskoska, follow-up shot, covered. Westwood taking the face-off here in the D zone. Wins it back. Sent around the boards, out to Davis. Davis feeds it back to Trent. Got space. Lob through. No icing. Davis closes that one off, feeds it through. Trying to hit man through the middle. D was covering the wings or the walls. Luong brings it in the zone. Drops back to Westwood. Westwood tied up, couldn't get the shot off. Davis feeds it back the other way. Pass to the feet, couldn't field it cleanly, and the Jets wire down. That will be an ice. Face-off coming up in the Jets' D zone. Mesa, Creel battling, messing for the face-off. Kerr comes in, hooked. Puck sent around the boards to Rubino. Rubino takes a hit. Creel takes a hit, which would have been a penalty if it were the other way around. Jets clear through. Gorman chips it back the other way, back to Kerr, drops it back. Baldy walks it in, drops it back to Kerr. Creel in the far corner, short side shot off the shoulder. Then back down low, right in front. And the Jets couldn't clear. Up in the bench, or the bleachers, my apologies. And almost hits the Luong and Westwood family. Everybody safe to the right. Face-off coming up in the Jets D zone. Jennings, Fitzy, Johnson, Larison, and Posner. Jennings in for the face-off. Loose at the feet. Jets chip it back behind their goal line. Johnson there. Jennings feeds it out to Fitzy. Shot off a leg. Fitzy feeds it back down to Johnson. Johnson in the near corner. Feeds back to the point. Larison out to Posner. Shot off a leg. Still in play. Dropped down. Jennings comes away with that one. Trying to hit Johnson. Couldn't connect. Gorman still has it in the zone as Larison feeds it back around. Johnson uses his size. Shot by Jennings, denied by the goaltender. Posner feeds it back down low, loose, and cleared to the near corner. And the Jets are going to bring it back the other way. Poke checked off, picked up by the Jets. Cycles around. Shot. Goal. Central Cathedral ties it with 1:53 remaining. Heavy traffic in front of the Gorman goaltender on that one. Trent walks it through, trying to feed it up to Fish. Pass along the near wall. Offsides. Jets will need to tag up. I believe they're still offsides, but they let it go. Bonifazio picks that up in the neutral zone. He's got Godino with him. Shot just left of the net. Dino on the back check forces them to send it through. It's going to get picked up by Luong. Luong sends it across, picked up at the blue line. Shot off the blocker, goes wide, still in play. Trent with a stick lift, prevent the chip shot. Pass picked up by Godino. Godino wires it down, tipped by Bonifazio. He's going to head to the bench. Westwood in for Gorman. Davis on the ice as well. Westwood gives a hit in the corner. Central Cathedral goes up by 1. Face-off coming up center ice. 23.5 seconds left in the second before the ice cut. Davis, Tritton, Westwood, Baldy, and Rubino. Davis wins it out to Westwood. 3-on-2. Shot deflected wide. Davis gets there for Gorman. Chips it across to Westwood. Tries to hit Tritton, comes out to Baldy. Baldy shot off a leg. And Rubino recovers in the neutral zone, chips it out. Westwood and Rubino and Davis and Tritton. Shot gets stuffed and no buzzer, just whistles. And Gorman, who had started out at one point with a 3-1 lead, currently trailing by 1. As mentioned before, we have a nice cut coming up, and we will see you in a few minutes. All right, getting ready to kick off the third period. Gorman currently trailing by 1 here. Back-to-back games. Shots on goal, 26-13 in favor of Gorman. Kicking off the third. Posner, Fish, Creel, Larison, Godino, and Faircloth in net to close it out. Fish in for the faceoff for Gorman. Jets win that one, bring it around the far side. Jets send it around the boards. Creel in pursuit, couldn't get there in time. Puck is back to Godino. Creel on the near wall. Makes his own, feeds it through to Godino, couldn't connect. Larison, part of the rush, feeds it back through the crease. Larison sends it back behind the goal line. Pass clears the zone, one-on-one the other direction. Back checking Posner. Poke checked out by Godino. Fish couldn't hold on to a shot. Right of the net. There was an opening there. Just went wide. Bouncing puck off the skate of Godino. Ships it through, and Gorman tries to squeeze in a change. Jets try to take advantage of it. They lob it in off a player. Baldy, stretch pass to Godino, walks it in. Shot, loose out front. Second attempt by Fitzy denied. Fitzy comes away with it. Shot short side and covered by the goaltender for a stoppage of play. D-zone faceoff for the Jets. Jennings, Fitzy, Johnson, Rubino and Baldy. Baldy shot off the feed from the faceoff. Rubino chips it up, keeps it in the zone. Johnson drops back. Rubino in the corner, keeps it in. Johnson's shot goes off a skate and wide. Fitzy picks off the pass. Forces the Jets to recover back along the near corner. Pass through the neutral zone, off a skate. No icing. Baldy out to the far wall to Jennings, couldn't connect. And Jets fire back down around. Baldy in the corner with Jennings and Fitzy. Rubino chips it across. Jets working through the neutral zone. Turned over, Fitzy wires it in. Gorman's gonna try to squeeze in a change. Luong stays up, Davison for Gorman. Westwood, Tritton. Davis flushes him out along the far side. Luong and Trent on defense. Pass out to Davis. Sends it out, Luong. Brings it in the zone. Out along the near corner. Bouncing puck out to the far side. Davis comes in, chips it, keeps it in. Puck sent around the boards and cleared out of reach of the Jets. No icing on this one. Trent's going to pick it up. Not sure why it was waved off. Larison chips it across off the skate of Westwood, cleared. And Gorman back behind their net. Larison chips it off the boards. Jets pick it up in the neutral zone, wire back the other way. They'll need to tag up. Pass back out. Larison Trent back at the goal line. Chips it out to Davis. Jets pick it up in the neutral zone, loose. Davis clears out of the crease. Shot goes wide. Davis chips it off the boards. Tritton comes away with it. He's got Westwood with him. Makes his own. And that one blown dead. .47 remaining in the third. Gorman trailing by 1. Kerr, Bonifazio, and Mesa. That one goes right at the crease. Goaltender had to brush that aside. Fed back at the Posner. Chipped. Jets couldn't clear. Posner sends it, and that's going to be gloved down by the goaltender. Gorman wins that one back. Mesa feeds Posner. Cross ice to Rubino. Chip down low. Trying to hit Mesa just behind him, and the Jets wire it in. And go on the forecheck. Faircloth chips it out to near side. Out of reach of Bonifazio. Loose out front of the crease. Kerr gives a hit. Kerr on the near corner, chips it, takes a hit, comes out to Bonifazio, off the skate of Mesa. Bonifazio picks that one off, tries to chip it in. Kerr sends it in off the body of Mesa. Long shift for that line. Godino and Fish in for Gorman. Luong wires it across to Godino. He's got Creel through the slot. Jets pick that one off and send it around the far corner. Baldy almost chips that one in. Fish is going to come back and retrieve it and support. He's got Luong with him as well. Creel walks it in, sends it around the boards. Creel back behind the goal line. 11:05 remaining in the third. Jets clear their zone into the neutral zone. Shot tipped, goes wide. Picked up by Luong. Shot. And they're going to call tripping. Looks like Fish will head to the box on a tripping penalty as he was playing the puck on the ground, which he got there because he was tripped. Minor detail, Gorman on the PK, 10:44 remaining. As penalties for both teams continue stacking up. Fitzy battling through on the PK with an opportunity. Goaltender able to come away with a save there. Jennings feeds it back down low. Disrupted. Fitzy with the goal earlier in the game. Huge hit by Larison. And there's going to be a penalty on the Jets now as the player ran up and hooked him by the legs. And we'll play some 4-on-4. Minute and a half remaining on the initial tripping penalty. We'll add another one to the other side. Holding is actually not a tripping, it's a holding. When you hold the legs and trip, we'll go with holding. So we'll play a little bit of 4-on-4 here. About a minute and a half. Godino Trent playing up at forward right now. For a face-off in the Jets D zone. Rubino and Luong at the blue line. Jets win the one back into their corner. Godino steals it. Back out to Trent. He's going to bring it back to the neutral zone, find some space. Brings along the near side, poke checked off a stick. And offsides. Stay 4-on-4, 57 seconds left. Posner and Baldy at the blue line. Puck comes out in favor of Gorman. Baldy feeds it out to Trent. Makes the zone. He's got 3 on him. Posner, shot, glove save. Westwood, Fitzy, Baldy, and Posner now for the 4-on-4. 41 seconds remaining. Fish in the box. About a half minute remaining here. Jets bring it through the neutral zone. Lost an edge on entry. Gorman comes away with it. Baldy poke checked off the stick. Fitzy forces the pass across. That should be and is an icing. 11 seconds remaining on the Gorman penalty. Godino, Rubino, Larison, and Westwood. Comes out in favor of Westwood. Couldn't get the shot off. Rubino forces him back down low. And the Jets bring it through the neutral zone. And another penalty coming up on Gorman. Offsides. Stoppage of play. Just hit 5, and we go back to 4. Looks like Rubino, the call on him for tripping. And we will play a little bit more 4-on-4. Kerr, Fitzy, Luong, and Larison. We're going to do this one in the neutral zone. Kerr in for the face-off. Jets chip it in. Fitzy recovers. Sends it back out to Luong. 14 seconds left before Gorman goes on the PK. Larison Luong going to waste some time here. Stretch pass out. Chipped across. Fitzy almost comes away with it on the rush. And Gorman is officially on the PK with plenty of room to ice it. He's going to send it out to Kerr. Kerr stuffed at the blue line as Gorman goes in the PK. Benito has the other forward. Fish in for Kerr. Fish pinned in the corner. Larison comes in to support. Godino picks that one up. And looks like he's going to opt to just kick it across out to Larison. Larison tied up, and we have a penalty on the Jets. Now for the parents driving home this evening, it's going to be a much later drive as this game drags on. Not even sure what we're up to for either side. We've got to be pretty close to a coach or two getting suspended one game. 4-on-4, Westwood, Fitzy, Baldy, Trent. Westwood in for the faceoff. Jets win that one. Off to bring it through the center to the near wall. Poke checked off by Baldy. Fitzy chips it back in. Trent picks up the stray puck. Out to Baldy. Fitzy. My bad, folks. Trent recovers along the far wall. Back to the blue line. Picked up by the Jets. And they bring it through. Save. And the follow-up puck left in the crease. And the Jets go up by one more. The initial save was made, left in the crease, and it looks like the players thought it was covered, but it was loose, and it was an easy tap in. It's like Rubino, they're saying he's still in the box, even though it's cleared on the boards here. Rubino not in the box. Whoa. .101 showing on the boards. Fish in for the faceoff. Davis and Creel on the wing. Gorman with the power play. Trent walks it through. Couldn't get the shot off. Dino winds up, lobs it in. Creel feeds it back down. Cross blue line pass. Godino couldn't get the shot off. Shoved off the puck. Maintains the puck possession. Davis posted out front. Kept in by Trent. Shot. Creel off the pad. Loose out front. Shot. Fish. Loose. And goaltender toppled on the crash. And we will take a quick break here. All right, goaltender back up. Three seconds left on the Gorman power play. Gorman trailing by 2. Face-off coming up in the Jets D zone. Posner, Larison, Fitzy, Jennings, and Johnson. Puck loose at the feet, player out of the box. Jets shuffle it in. Posner sends it around the boards. Shot from the blue line off the skate of Jennings. Johnson sends it across, trying to hit Fitzy. Larison sends it out. Posner, Johnson makes his own. Johnson feeds it down low. 5 minutes remaining in the third. Jennings brings it up and drops it back down low. Out of reach, Cass Johnson. Feeds back out to Larison. Blue line, walks it up. Shot just right of the net. Follow up, Posner. Feeds it back down low. Glove down by Posner. Chips back down to Johnson. Loose at the feet. That one scooped up by Fitzy. Back to Larison. Reloads Johnson on the far blue line. And that one gloved. Looks like we have a timeout coming up. Gorman. 4:19 remaining in the third period. Gorman trailing by 2. Shots on goal, 32-16. In favor of Gorman. Out shooting their opponent by double. It's been most of the game. Same story. One of the key differences here is penalties racking up and some of the opportunities Gorman's kind of provided along the way. Fish, Westwood, Godino, Baldy, and long puck comes out in favor of Gorman. Chip back down low by Westwood. Fish back behind the net. Empty net for Gorman. Trent is the extra attacker. Westwood through the crease, trying to hit Godino, gets deflected. And Jets bring it through, dangled across. And Luong breaks that one up. And like a gentleman, hands the player back his stick. Solid back check by Luong. Puck comes out, shot, and swallowed up by Faircloth. .341 remaining. Quick turnaround between the two games, about 2 hours. starting to show here after the second. Gorman wins that face-off, sends it back behind the net. Faircloth looking for the signal to head to the bench. Chipped out. Makes his own. Empty net. Blocked by Baldy. Baldy sends it across. Westwood brings it in. Drops it back to Trent. Godino drops it down low, back up to Trent. Sends it on net, goes up and over. Godino beats the blue line, back to Baldy. Larison, Baldy high in the slot. Godino, shot, loose. Westwood couldn't connect on the rebound. Out to the far side, Godino, shot. And that one's swallowed up by the goaltender with 2:39 remaining in the third. Gorman wins the face-off, loose at the feet. Chip down low, and that clears. Empty net still for Gorman. Out to Larison, near side. Westwood walks it up, dangles through. Shot, loose out front. Follow-up shot cleared. Shot on net, off the post. No goal. Spared you the quick pan, hit the right post, deflected out to the far wall. Fish brings it in, drops it back, 1:53 remaining. Shot, loose, covered. 1:49. Fresh legs out for Gorman. Rubino, Luong, Fitzy, Creel, Jennings, and Johnson. Jennings in for the puck drop. Goes back behind the goal line. Shot wide. That'll be an icing. 1:42. Jennings in for the face-off, same crew as before. Loose at the feet, goes into the far corner. Johnson poke checks it around. Jets are going to get there first. Shoveled across. Cleared, no icing. Not sure how. Rubino out to Johnson, to Creel, makes the zone. Shot, Johnson, sent wide. Godino comes away with it. Fed to the crease, loose out front. Back to Rubino, high in the slot. Creel sends it through the net, loose. And covered by the goaltender, 53 seconds left. Larison, Baldy, Fish, Godino, Trent, and Westwood. Gorman wins that face-off. Back out to Godino. Shot short side, off the bar. Backhanded off the side of the net by Trent. Westwood walks it up. 33 seconds left. Opposite corner, Larison Feeds it down low, loose. Comes out into the far corner. Fish chips it back to Trent. Shot just over. Westwood toppled. That shot off the glove of Larison. 8 seconds left. Comes out to Trent. Godino brings it in the zone. And that'll wrap it up for the weekend. All right, that'll wrap it up for Gorman for this trip. Next game will be against former Gorman players in the alumni game. I believe that game is on the 23rd at 4:15 p.m. Pacific time. Be a fun game there at the Las Vegas Ice Center. Hope to see everyone there. And then that'll pretty much wrap it up for the rest of the year. Confetti Cup previously penciled in. Didn't quite pan out with finding competition. So the boys will have a break until we head into January and resume Anaheim League play. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.